Hi everybody, this is Quinn, that snazzy iPhone guy, and this is the video review of the Rockford Fosgate punch plugs. This is the extended or full review, and if you want to get a general idea of what you can expect with the punch plugs without seeing this whole entire video, click the annotation above for the shortened review. Now, I've been very excited about receiving these. I got promised them back before they were launched, but it never happened. They kind of ran out of supply units. So the great guys at Rockford sent me one with their new inline microphone. Now, there are two models to the Rockford Fosgate punch plugs currently. There is the model without the inline microphone. It's called the PP15mm, and that'll run you $99. There's also the PP15mm I model, which I have, and that includes the inline microphone and control system for iPhone, iPod Touch, BlackBerry, and a few other devices. Now there's an up volume, down volume, pause. As for the physical little inline microphone itself, the microphone sounds pretty superb. It's pretty decent, and I was quite satisfied with it. Is it quite as good as the iPhone 4s right down at the bottom? No, but keep in mind it is jammed inside of this very small enclosure. It was fine for videos, voice notes, and a few other things that I used it for, especially phone calls. Now, as for the clicker itself, I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of it, because when you push on the center button, it also pushes the volume very easy. There's also not a very high response on the click, so sometimes when you click twice or three times to go forward or backwards, it sometimes messes up. So the inline mic, I feel like the mic is good, the up and down volumes are excellent. This, if you're only pushing it once, works good, but if you're trying to do multi-action things, it's not probably your best bet for inline microphones. Inline headphones. Now, the headphones themselves are beautiful, and that's what I loved about the punch plugs the most, is you out and buy headphones today, and the good ones are hideously ugly, and the good ones that look cool are hideously horribly sounding. So it was good to kind of see a hybrid between the two with the Rockford Fosgate punch plugs. Now, if you look at the design right here, once my camera focuses, come on buddy, okay, there we go. There is this kind of, I don't know if it's plastic or metal, but a very shiny stainless steel looking end cap right here. Then there is the driver plastic clap enclosure. This is where the cord goes in right there, and then it goes to the driver, which is which is housed inside this plastic casing. So this is pretty much just an end cap. With the right one, it did come off once. It kind of just popped off, and luckily I caught it. Under here is not much, but all I did was I took the right earphone, I glued it together with a little bit of super glue, and it's back to normal. I haven't had any problems whatsoever. So I don't know if that was just a manufacturing bug with my earphones or what, but I will note that did happen. But with a little bit of glue, it was fine again. But the build quality honestly is pretty superior. I will hit these all day. They are plastic, which means they're pretty light, and by pretty light, they're extremely light. They're much lighter than my Monster Turbine Copper Pros. They're much lighter than the Sonics earbud line. I mean, they're very, very light, but if you look at them, they're freaking monstrous. They are a huge earphone, and that's because they're housing a 15mm driver, which honestly is unheard of in consumer earphones. Now, this made me wonder a few things. This means it's packing a lot of bass because that driver is gigantic, but it also means that the sound quality could be overshadowed in the higher ends, and I'll get into that in a minute. But first, I'll talk about what is included. So you get the headphones with the remote mic. If you pop this bad boy open, it tells you all their information here. One thing to note is you can crank these headphones up to 115 decibels, which is honestly dangerously ear-splittingly high. Usually when I'm listening to music, I'll have the volume indicator on my iPod about 3/4 of the way up. On the punch plugs, I'm not kidding you, I had it no more than half, because if I took it over half, it honestly started to hurt my ears. It was so loud. So yeah, they definitely have got some boom, got some bang, got some sound to them. Now, what is included, might you ask? There is 5 ear gels, and these ear gels are very good. If you look at them right here, they're not garbage ones. I mean, they do fit in. This is the smallest size. As I've told you guys before, I have very small ear canals. Just a kind of a weird situation for me. I've not been using the included earbuds because Comply sent me some ear gels, foam ear gels that work with the punch plugs. I'm going to get to a review on these in about a week. If you check out my calendar, which is on my channel, you'll see exactly when the review on these is coming. However, The 5 ear gels that are included can go from small to monstrous, and then they have 2 flanged ones. So I think there was a picture of that somewhere. Yes. So I think you get 3 of these and 2 different sizes of these. I'm pretty much guarantee you're going to find a fit for you. These fit, just not perfectly, and I prefer these small Comply earbuds. And once again, I'll get to those in a few days. But so we've talked about the build quality, we've talked about the size, we've talked about the headphones themselves. Now, the headphones feature a spaghetti or tangle-free cable. Now, I do have a few things to complain about the tangle-free cable in this regard. The tangle-free cable isn't so tangle-free. In fact, it's actually very easy to tangle. That's a huge downside for me. I've always loved the braided kind of nylon cords. They do get, I mean, let's be honest here, there's no headphone that you can't tangle. Let's just be honest here. There are some that are a little bit tougher to tangle. The nylon cords are pretty hard to tangle, and these typically, historically, don't tangle that easily. When I had the Heartbeats by Lady Gaga, they didn't tangle easy, which I really liked. Now the Rockford Fosgate seems to be seems to be featuring this same kind of cable, but I don't know why it tangles. When you put it in a carrying case or wrap it around your iPod, it's fine. But if you wrap it up in your pocket, like I almost always do with all my headphones, just go like this and throw it in, expect to get really good at untying knots because it just knots together like crazy. I don't know why it does it, I don't know how, but that's one thing to note about this spaghetti tangle-free cable. Now, when we get down to the yoke here, you'll see there's the Rockford logo and there's the slider. I've never used the sliders, but it is good that they include them because I have seen a few headphones as of late that are just kind of doing away with this. I know there's people that love it for running and stuff like that. Now, they do give you a plastic clip. Once again, I've never been a huge fan or supporter of the clip, but I know people that run and do other athletic sports love it. When I'm biking, I don't ever use one. I don't feel like I need one, and I'm fine without one, but that is there if you would like it. Now, once we go down through this cable, one thing I will note is the cable is pretty reasonably sized. I don't know if it says on here. I'm probably going to go for 36 inches. One thing to note with some in-ear monitors is the cord is crazy long. And I hate headphones that have short cables like the Apple earbuds. Their cable's really short and I feel like it's kind of cheap feeling. I want some length to it, but some are just getting so ridiculously long that you can't even manage the cable. I think 36 inches is perfect. You can be able to walk kind of around, get a little bit away from your device. It easily fits into your pocket, and you still have a few inches left over. However, it isn't like a cord dragging across the ground. Now, when you get down to this, this is what worries me most about the headphones, and I don't know why, because I haven't had a problem with it yet, but something about me tells me you may run into some problems. Now, this cable is obviously the earphone jack. When we throw it into the iPhone 4, come on, focus. When we throw it into the iPhone 4, as you can see, that's a very, very long point. This is rubber, but it's not very flexible, and then this is hard plastic. I'm very worried that while I'm running or something like that, I would be able to hit or knock that out, and that's just not something that I really want to do. It's something that does frighten me a little bit, but I haven't had a problem with it yet, but this is a little bit too long for my liking, or I wish they would have reinforced it in a way that made it felt sturdier. But in the 3 weeks of using them, or 4 weeks I guess now, I haven't had a problem, so I shouldn't really be complaining. That's the headphones themselves. Let's get into the way they sound. Now, obviously the focus of these is to bring a lot of bass, and so the bass and mid bass have huge benefits in this little package. These are without a doubt. I've tried the Heartbeats by Lady Gaga. I've tried the Beats by Dre Tour. I've tried the Radius Atomic earbuds. These have the most bass I've ever had in any headphone. And in points, in different songs, it was almost overpowering. It was almost annoying. Like, I liked the bass, and I love it when I'm listening to dance or electronica, or not a huge rap fan, not a huge hip-hop fan either. But when I did listen to a few hip-hop tracks, I really liked the way that these boomed. One thing Uncle Tony 99 told me to listen to, and it is true, is Millie by hello. Wow, I'm having a brain aneurysm. Okay, hold on. While I was listening to that song, it seriously, like the sub that I honestly have never heard on any other headphone. I have listened to that song. I have it on my iPod. I just have to look for it here. Oh, Lil Wayne. Duh, stupid me. By Lil Wayne, a milli is just nuts. I've listened to it on good stereo systems. My boat, we have a huge Rockford Fosgate sub, and it obviously shines through in that regard. But in headphones, I've never really heard this low end. And this sounds so crisp on the Rockford Fosgate punch plugs. So the bass is what's really going to shine. If you listen to rap, hip-hop, dance, electronica, trance, any of that kind of stuff with a low end, even some, not heavy metal, but even some rock, you get a really nice sound coming out of it, especially with some classical rock songs. Classic rock is good stuff, and on some of them where you have that killer shred and bass line, these would really shine through it. And that's something that I think the punch plug superiorizes itself in. Is that even a word? Probably not. In regards to the other headphones, is it really just has a shining bass and a low end. Now, when we get into the mids, we still don't have any problems. They're really crisp, really smooth, but they're not at all overpowering, and they're not muddled either. I really like the way the mids sound. They weren't the focus of the headphones, obviously, but you could hear them, and they sounded great. Now, the trebles, this is where I kind of get a little bit questioning. The trebles were great in, once again, the kind of lower end songs. Excuse me, no, the opposite. Trebles are very good in songs that don't have a lot of lower end, because when your ears have been flooded with bass, and when that's all these are focusing on, it becomes a problem because the treble becomes washed out. It just is very muddled. It's kind of not tinny, but it's muddled. It doesn't sound great. Now, when you have a song that doesn't focus on a lot of bass, there may be a bass line, but it's not a bass-oriented song. There's mostly mid and treble. The trebles really do actually sound quite nice. However, I don't think they're the nicest sounding earbuds out there if that's what you're looking for. I have used the Klipsch Image S4. You'll get a review on those in a few weeks also. I love those headphones. The bass doesn't shine quite as much as the punch plugs, but they do an admirable, wow, I can speak English, I'm sorry. They do an admirable job in showing the treble in pretty much any genre. So if you're looking for the kind of music that goes along the lines of alternative, pop, some pop, classical, world, ska. If you're looking for that kind of stuff, punch plugs probably aren't for you. However, if you're looking and focusing on a deep bass, if in a low end, their frequency response is really low, that's what you're going to want to get is the punch plugs. Now, I'm not going to say that the punch plugs are the greatest headphones that I've ever used, because they aren't, but I will say that they are the greatest headphones I have ever used for less than $140. These are not quite there, but almost on par with my Monster Copper Turbine Pros, and those run $299. So at 1/3 of the price, these shine. These are incredible earphones. I love them to death. If you're looking for anything with any remote amount of bass, these are without a doubt what you want to get. Rockford shines through like crazy in that regard. They're better than V-Moda headphones I've tried. They're better by Beats by Dre. Obviously not the studios, the over-ear ones. The solos, same. They're probably not quite as good as the solos, but then again, this is something that's fitting inside your ear and inside your pocket. The studios aren't going to fit inside your pocket. And for all of you haters that hate the studios, I know the studios are far overpriced. It's mostly marketing. They do sound good. You can't admit they don't sound good. They're probably overpriced. But, if you're looking for other low-end, high-end, with a low-end headphone, look no further than the Rockford Fosgate punch plugs in terms of earphones. So the Rockford Fosgate earbuds, in my opinion, without a doubt, receive a glorious 8 out of 10. Why? They do give you a bit of an inaccurate reproduction of music because the bass is so overpowering. The trebles are a little muddy and some genres aren't represented accurately. The tangle-free chord isn't, in fact, very tangle-free, but they are thumping loud. They're highly durable, they're very inexpensive, and they produce a sound that is really fun to listen to. Honestly, I think I've put more hours into these headphones than any other that I own. One thing also to note, and this is something that's a little bit unusual, every headphone requires a bit of burn-in. Now what burn-in means is when they're new, when they're freshly out of the box, they don't sound as good as they will in a couple hours. And that's because they got to get some stuff running through them and you got to get some wear and tear into the drivers. Now, typically I don't mention burn-in times because in a lot of headphones it isn't very long. 10, 12 hours of listen time, and oftentimes the change after the burn-in period is very minute, very minor. Well, the Rockford Fosgate punch plugs are quite different. What I would recommend that you do is take them out of the box when you buy them and listen to them. Listen to like a playlist of 5 or 6 songs, okay? They'll sound good, but you won't be blown away, all right? Now, when you're gonna go to bed, plug them in and play a playlist. Do a bunch of different kinds of stuff with a lot of treble, a lot of bass. Do a bunch of different kinds of genres and songs, and then run it all night long. 12, 13, 14 hours, even going further into the day. And then go back to those 5 songs you listened to and listen to them again. The change is insane. The burn-in period is only about 12 hours. I didn't notice much more change after that. However, you will notice that there is a huge change after 12 hours. I never mentioned burn-in because it never makes that much of a difference, but with the Rockford Fosgate punch plugs, it absolutely does. So if you listen to 10 songs and you decide you're not that happy with them, keep them for 2 or 3 days, a week. You'll fall in love with them. I pretty much guarantee it. They are very fun and create a sound that is really unique among headphones. One that's just entirely fun to listen to. It's unlike anything I've ever heard in terms of headphones before. I really enjoy them. I love them a lot. Thanks to Rockford for sending them out to review. Thank you for your support. Please subscribe, rate, comment, and as always, stay snazzy. Absolutely, without a doubt, I can recommend the Rockford Fosgate punch plugs. Have a good one, and as always, as I said, and I'm going to say again, stay snazzy. See you later, folks.